Yeah, so following on from the last episode, I'd like to...
Like this.
Hi guys, welcome to the Hanji Hello Podcast. I'm your host. I'm going to just go through a few emails today that I've received since the last episode. There's just a handful of emails I'm going to go through. Thank you to everyone who has emailed in the in-between times, we'll call them, where nothing has been uploaded. I kind of started this podcast during it was kind of a period of time, COVID, there was a lot going on. Everyone was starting podcasts, and it was something that I could do by myself. I didn't have to rely on anybody else. And I was really excited at first getting into it and doing it. And I mean, a lot of these episodes, I feel like it's just me. I haven't listened back to them actually for a long time, but in my head, I feel like a lot of these episodes of the podcast have just been about me talking about doing the podcast rather than being substantial in regards to having something valid to say or to share, which I guess is not necessarily true because of the really nice emails and comments and stuff that people have sent. And it's actually surprising to me because when I'm out and about, that's one of the most consistent questions that I get asked. Are you bringing the podcast back? Are you going to be doing more podcast episodes? So the answer is clearly no, but yet no. I mean, yes, yeah, in it, because I'm doing it now. I don't know why. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened in the between times, as I'm calling them. I kind of want to talk about things on this podcast, but I don't know what you guys want to hear. I feel like I want you guys' help just to, if you guys can send emails, comments and stuff like that. Everyone who's following this page, I really appreciate it. Everyone who's following, everyone who's listening, everyone who's on the YouTube, on the Instagram, whatever. Just, feel free to get in touch via email and just, let's talk on the podcast. Let's have a conversation. Let's go back and forth. Ask me questions, or if you need help and advice, like how we were doing before. And that's probably one of the main reasons why I'm doing this episode and why I kind of got inspired to do it again. Someone sent an email, which I haven't read yet. I just kind of saw a little bit of the first couple of lines as the email had come in. And it was really asking for advice about a situation, and I haven't actually read it yet. I thought, let me get everything set up and let me read the email live while I'm on the podcast and see what how I can kind of help. I'm not really sure what to talk about. It's a bit weird, isn't it? I feel like what I was doing before, I was actively thinking of subjects that I wanted to speak about and talk about and share on the podcast with you guys. But it's been such a long time, and this is literally this morning. Well, maybe I'll just give you an update about some of the things that I've been doing. Traveling a lot. I've been traveling a lot. These are conversations that I've had with my friends, and I guess I'm going to start talking about this on the podcast a little bit. Traveling. I had a conversation. Sorry, I keep itching. If you see me itching, I got bitten by a mosquito on this part of my elbow, and it's really bothering me all of a sudden. One thing that I discussed with a cousin of mine was about traveling and solo traveling. Now, we both kind of agreed that solo traveling is something that everyone should do. We had a conversation, we were just discussing it, and one thing was he was like, one thing I recommend everyone to do is solo travel at least once, and that's something that I wholeheartedly agree with. and not just solo traveling. I think doing loads of things by yourself, for yourself, is a great thing that you can do for yourself. And it's not necessary. I'm not talking about like how society, we've kind of, there's a individualism which is really like prominent in society. Like we're kind of taught to not care about community, not care about fellow human beings, not care about other people, and focus more on ourselves. I don't mean it in that sense. I mean it in a sense of getting in touch with yourself. We are constantly distracted and kept distracted, and everything that we have, our phones in particular, is a distraction from connecting in real life. Travel, I've done so much of it, and a lot of solo travel, especially to places that are like, I guess, difficult to navigate in, because you don't speak the language. There's a language, I mean, the language barrier is a big thing, and then just discovering local customs, the way people transport, like local transport, trains, buses, all that kind of stuff, eating out, like all these kind of things you kind of have to kind of do and discover while you're in a different country and when you're traveling alone. And what happens is, there is, I mean, this is just like a theory of mine, is you have these the neuron pathways in your brain are strengthened based on redoing things. And people get to a certain point in their life where they stop doing new things, they stop learning, and they stop. Sometimes it's out of it's not for lack of wanting to, it's because of circumstances they're not able to do that, which I understand. But you get to a certain point where you're in a routine, you're doing the same thing, and you kind of stop learning new things. And I feel like when you travel, and what I've been doing is, when I've been going to different places and doing all this stuff, there's a part of your brain that you're activating, which is like new, like you're creating new neural pathways, because you're out of your comfort zone and you're navigating through a space which is new to you, and you have to kind of figure it out. It's kind of like a puzzle solving in some sort of way. And there's just so many benefits to it, man. Like, that's one of the things that I kind of had a recent kind of an analysis of it, and why I enjoy it, and how I think it benefits anyone that does it. And that's one of the reasons I think I don't know how I got onto this tangent about that. I was talking about what I've been doing. I'm training for a half marathon, which is crazy to me because I hated running at school. Like, I absolutely hated it. Cross country was just the worst. It was so bad, man. I don't know. I think I have a feeling like people that are listening to this are of like a similar kind of age, where you had to kind of, in the freezing cold, be out in like your like shorts and t-shirt or whatever it was, your PE kit, and your teachers would force you to run outside in the bloody freezing cold weather. It was not fun. And I had asthma, and I always used to get like blown up and like be wheezing and stuff by the end of it. Anyway, so I have all these kind of memories of that. And a friend of mine, probably about 6 months ago, maybe let's say 4 to 5 months ago, suggested that I sign up for this half marathon. And I was like, yeah, man, let's do it. And then I kind of forgot about it. And then about 2 months ago, they're like, have you started training? Like, and I was like, oh shit, better start training. And the first run I went for was like 10 minutes, and I was completely out of breath, like completely out of it. The last time I had proper like done like kind of intense kind of cardio like that was probably about 2 or 3 years ago, when I did I was playing football with a couple of friends, and again I hadn't done that for about bloody 10 years or something, and I got really, really blown up quick. And that first run was atrocious, literally 10 minutes, and I was out of it. But I've slowly built up. I should have started earlier. There's so many times where I wish I should have ran more. There was a lot of recovery time I needed when I started, because obviously I'm using muscles and stuff that I haven't really used in a long time. So, and I didn't want to injure myself, so I had to kind of spend time recovering. Like I would run and I would push myself. I didn't have the proper trainers and stuff. I got those, and then recovery took me like 4 or 5 days to recover from a run. But yeah, I've got into a good routine now. I'm kind of running well. The half marathon is next week. Let's see how it goes. The most I've run so far is 5k, which I can do without getting too kind of out of it. But a half marathon is 21, so I don't know. Tomorrow I'm gonna try and do a 16k tomorrow with friends of mine. So let's see how that goes. All right, cool. I feel like I've kind of warmed up now, and I've done enough kind of rambling. So I'm just gonna read some emails that have come through over the years. I mean, these are from like the last episode. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys have even like whoever's emailed in. I don't know if you guys will still be still would have listened, or are still listening, or will pay attention. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out which episode was last. Episode 6 was last, so this is episode 7, I guess. I'm just gonna read some of these emails. Sorry, this is so boring for you guys. I'm gonna try and cut this bit out. Yeah, some of these are spam emails. Hold on. Okay, right, cool. Hey Raxstar, just finished watching the last podcast. Thanks for putting these podcasts out. It's been fun to get to know you as an artist in a different medium. My name is something. Okay. Please leave my name off. Okay, I'm not gonna read the name. Having 2 names has been really interesting. It's as if I have 2 identities. A mask I put on and wear out in the world. I started wearing this mask during adolescence so that I could separate myself from who I really was. A Punjabi girl growing up in California. Really because of family drama and feeling like the community I belonged to was not supportive to me. That's a long story, not the purpose of my email. I have been working on reconnecting to my true self, and I've been contemplating if that means using my God-given name more. Anyway, that's what prompted me to write to you with a potential podcast topic, the duality of self. See, I was asking people at the beginning of this podcast to send stuff in, and people had already emailed stuff in, and I hadn't read it. I hope I haven't read this email on a previous episode, because this was sent such a long time ago. And imagine I've already read this email on a previous episode. Okay, anyway, here's what prompted me to write to you, the duality of self. I know artists use stage names, some as a way to break through the confines of their introverted self-identity, some to make it easier for people in the world to accept them, some just for marketing purposes. There are so many reasons. I know you told us about how Rax was a nickname, but I'm curious how you came upon the stage name and why you keep your God-given name protected from the public. No shade here, everyone has a reason, and I support that. Do you, brother? Anyways, this duality of self is what most brown kids go through, speaking Punjabi at home, English outside in the world, being a suited professional in court, but wearing a salwar kameez at the Gurdwara. Code switching of sorts, I suppose. I'm curious to hear your thoughts and experience around dual identity and what you've done to keep true to who you are deep inside, and when and where you decide to share that with others. I know you know this, but I have to say it. Your music is dope. Thank you for being very nice things being said. Thank you. I feel grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really nice email. I mean, what's the main question here? What are my thoughts and experiences around a dual identity? There are parts of ourselves, I mean, regardless of having a different name, I mean, code switching is what we all do, but there's there are always parts of ourselves that we only, I think, present to other people. A lot of people are very good at compartmentalizing types of their personality so that it's only presented amongst other people. I feel like for me, generally speaking, what you see is what you get. Like, who I am, regardless of which setting I'm in, it is me. Like, all of those elements and parts of whoever I am, it's me. It might be, if I'm more comfortable with you, a lot of people can relate to this, but if I'm more comfortable with you, I might, you'll get a more playful side, you'll get more jokes and all that kind of stuff. If I'm very close to you, then I'll share more meaningful, deeper conversations, especially about how I feel, and my close friends. I feel like most people have that. You don't kind of share deep and personal things with people that you don't trust or that you're not close to. The duality, I guess, is just I guess as an artist, it's an exaggerated part of yourself. I mean, I've kind of been through a lot of kind of analyzing myself. Like, I've been through a lot of analyzing myself the past couple of years and figuring myself out and what my shit is and all that kind of stuff. And the way I see it is, for me, I've done way too much of that. So trying to understand myself, I've got to a point where I kind of figured out why I am the way I am and why I did the things that I did, and growing up, what influenced the decisions that I made as a grown up, as an adult, why I went into music, why I did all of these things. I've kind of figured those things out for myself. And presenting certain parts of myself in public, I kind of withdrew a lot of myself for the past 3 years or so. I kind of withdrew a lot from social media, from obviously doing the podcast and all that other stuff. And I do think there was a reason for that. I do feel like it was kind of separating myself as a form of protection, I guess, because I mean, this podcast is actually a beautiful thing, like, because I was reading through like a bunch of comments as I was setting this all up, and it was such a great experience and great interactions that we've had with people. But obviously the internet and the world is not such a great place, especially the internet. There's so much crap on there, man. Like, and a lot of it's rage bait, a lot of it is just to get your clicks and just to get this stuff, and I just find that stuff so not me, so I kind of withdrew from it. And I guess now I just feel a bit more, I don't feel as under scrutiny, and even if I am, I don't actually care, because authenticity kind of shines through. So people will kind of have their opinions and decide however they feel about you, regardless, and that's nothing to do with me. So I've kind of mastered it better than I had. Obviously we don't completely, well, I don't know, but you can't, well, I haven't completely mastered it, but I've got to a level where I don't care as much. Like, maybe I would act like I didn't care, or say I didn't care. Maybe it was like 60-40% not caring and caring, but now I guess I'm more of a kind of 85%. So it depends on what day you catch me, how much I actually care what someone else has to say. But I know myself, so I think that's the most important thing. One thing that I mean, on TikTok, you get crazy people leaving ridiculous comments, just wild shit. And I realized that a lot of people, what people say is not about me. Like, I've really, really kind of internalized that. So everything that comes to me, I'm like, okay, why is this person saying this? If someone's saying something negative, I'm like, okay, so what's the reason why someone would say that? And it's never to do with me. Like, I'm either triggering something, they're bothered about something else, and they're taking it out on this person. So yeah, I'm not sure if I answered your question about duality, but thank you for your email, and I hope whatever rant I just went on kind of made sense to everyone that was listening. Okay, some crazy emails. Okay, cool. Here's another one from I really like, these emails have been open, so I'm not sure if I read them or not. I hope I haven't read this on. Okay, I'm gonna read this one. I don't know what it says. It just says episode 6 as a title. I just watched your podcast. I haven't before, but it's really good. I will definitely watch the other episodes. Thank you for being open and sharing your experiences, and nice to know you're not alone. I like the topics you're discussing. I think it's been a challenging time for everyone due to the pandemic. It's quite easy to become lost and feeling isolated. I lost 2 family members to COVID, and my dad ended up in hospital because of COVID. Thankfully, he made it, but there was a point where we weren't sure, so it's been quite traumatic, and I don't think I have dealt with that. You just kind of get on with life. Very true. But it's important to work through things and heal, so I'm looking forward to the podcast you will do on grief. You're right, it's easy to get caught up in comparing your life to others and getting caught up with social media. You just have to stay true to yourself, because I also started comparing my life to others, and it made me feel really negative and go off my path, which I'm working on. So I know how you feel. It's really good you did the podcast on your own. Sometimes we forget that we are more than enough. You're doing amazing and should be proud of yourself. Thank you. I think this is a kind of analysis of the episode 6, which I don't actually remember now because it was such a long time ago. This person says, you read that email, it made me laugh. Your reaction was hilarious. Just a really nice email. Thank you. I hope I haven't read this before. So guys, you know what? It doesn't count anyway if I read it before, because we're kind of all kind of catching up with each other again, reconnecting. So, you know, it doesn't really count. Okay, we got another email. This one came in 2022. Hi Rax, I just listened to your grief podcast. That was a really good podcast, by the way. Big up Donnie, because I haven't listened back to it, but I know how I felt while we were recording it, and when I did it, we like, I released it, and I just felt like there was a really great conversation, and an important conversation as well. Sorry for the tangent. It was absolutely astonishing and put me out of like forwards. I haven't gone through too much grief myself yet, but the things you talked about got me wondering and helping me prepare for one loss is to come. I think that's supposed to say for when loss is to come. I'm sorry about your father. I'll always remember him through you. Thank you. That was a really sweet message. Okay. Sorry for the boring scrolling. Okay, cool. Here's an email that I haven't opened. Okay. This one, again, is from 2022. Hi Rax, recently I've gone into a deep dive of your music and your journey. In the past, I had heard songs that featured you or that you created, however, I had not actually known about you as an artist. Firstly, your super thank you. I have listened to all of your music in a span of a week, including your podcast. Your new music that was just released is so amazing, so good. So this was, I think, maybe the Content album. In your podcast, you speak with such kindness and you're such a genuine person. The advice you give, the respect you have for everyone's feelings and how you feel about women and their rights to their own decisions, such as breath fresh air. You are so well. This is really, really like nice. I have this email wasn't even open. It's really, really nice. This is actually crazy. So no, I mean, I was gonna say, like, you know, the podcast should have carried on, but I wasn't in the right space to be doing the podcast then. Like, I'm in a good space now, so let's see how consistent I can be. This person says, I listened to your podcast 7 and noticed that you stopped after that. Hopefully you begin again and do more deep dives into issues that I feel are relevant for a lot of people. Whoa, here we are. I'm a single mum with a very toxic ex who I try very hard to co-parent with. Dealing with verbal abuse still for the sake of my kids is a lot to deal with. However, I just take it day by day. Your episode 7 had me in tears. I'm very sorry for your loss. Okay, episode 7 was the episode with Donnie, the grief episode. The kind words you both said about single mums, it meant a lot. Actually made me tear up. I just need to hear that some people do respect when single mums have to go, what single mums have to go through and what we do, without of course expecting anything, because I don't expect anything from anyone. I'm lucky that I have a successful business, and now I took on a day job as well, so I can earn a lot more for the sake of the kids. If they ever want or need anything and their father refuses to pay, it doesn't matter because I have the money. I'm not meaning to sound proud, but meaning I have figured out what I need to do to make money extra I need for the kids without ever even having to ask anyone for money. I don't ever do emails like this, but I felt an urge that I needed to send you this email to thank you. I was at a very difficult crossroads the last little while and was just stuck, and I don't know why this podcast helped me reach a decision that I was going back and forth with. I feel discovering your music was supposed to happen. From the music I found your podcast, and now I have a clear image of what I need to do. Sounds weird, I know. Thank you. I'm not sure if you will see this, but it's so bizarre that this deep dive into your music has helped me make a decision that will change my life. Whether you see this or not, I wish you so much success, happiness, love, and I hope God bless you with everything. Just beautiful, man. It's not even a question or anything in there. Just thank you. That was very, very nice. Okay, we got one from 2023. Hi Rax, hope you're doing well. I was wondering if you're going to be doing any more Hanji Hello Podcast. Yes. I wanted to ask you a question, but I noticed you haven't uploaded a video in over a year. I hope you do. I love listening to your podcast. Well, here we are. Please reach out again. Another email. Hi, how are you? I'm doing good. Thanks. Hope you're well. Okay, this is like a spam email. It's like, I came across your podcast and admire what you're doing. The conversations are real, the message lands, and with the right video cuts, I truly believe your episodes could reach more people, not just listeners, but the fast-scrolling, short-form, hungry crowd. I specialize in editing podcasts. All right, cool, bro. Okay, so this is the email which I received yesterday. So we're going to go through this together now. I'm going to try and take out anything that might kind of be personal to you, because I don't feel like people need to try and figure out who someone is or whatever. We respect people's privacy on this podcast, right? Wanted to reach out to you for some advice and motivation about my breakup. I know you don't do your podcast anymore, but I thought I'd give it a try and see my luck. Here we are. I've been together with this girl for nearly 8 years. It's a long distance relationship. I live in this country and she lives in another country. And she now decided that it's best for her to move on in her life and leave this relationship. And her family have found a guy for her, and they've been getting to know each other since a year now. And she's only told me about this 4 months ago. Bro, I felt like my whole world has crashed down, and it was very hurtful. So I tried to convince her to stay and make it work somehow, and we did give it a shot. But now 4 months later, last week, we had a little argument about something unnecessary, and she asked me if she could the next day to herself. This doesn't make sense. As we would call nearly every day in the evening, and she wanted space for the night, and I gave her that day space she asked for, and she said we can call again after that day. And then that day came, and I woke up to a message from her telling me about her feelings and that it's best we move on, and she wants more in life, and how wonderful our relationship has been, and that she will cherish it forever, and signed off with I love you, I'm sorry. And she knows it's going to cause me pain, and after she sent me the message, she blocked me everywhere, on every platform, so I didn't have the chance to say anything to speak to her about it. It's been a week now since, and I feel terrible, sad, hurt, anxious, scared, claustrophobic, exhausted, lots of regret. I've not been sleeping and eating well either. Damn, bro. It's tough, man. I'm trying my best to cope, but I'm finding it very difficult because I have so many questions and I'm confused and hurt. We met up a month and a half ago, stayed together for 4 days, and I think it was her responsibility to sit me down and have this talk with me face to face, but she didn't, and I don't know if I should have asked her myself and sat her down and tell me her feelings. So my mind is going crazy at the moment. We had a beautiful natural relationship for 8 years. We knew each other so well. I know what she needs and she knows what I need. It's like we never had to ask. We just knew what we needed. She's the most beautiful, kind, funny, pretty woman ever. Bro. I still love her very much. The love for her never went, but it got stronger, and the same for her over the years. But now, because of some situations and issues, like me living abroad, which I know I messed up on, I should have moved over ages ago. Maybe things might have been easier. But I live here with my mum. It's been difficult to leave her alone. My dad passed away in 2013. Sorry, bro. It's been very difficult, but as she said that she wants to move on and that her family have found another guy and they're going to get engaged soon as well. So the thing that hurts me the most is that she just sent me the text and blocked me everywhere instead of sitting me down and have the talk face to face. I'm not angry at her for wanting to move on. She's grown so much over the year in the relationship and love will always be there. I just wish she talked to me properly when I was with her a month and a half ago. In the text she said as well, she can't get herself to speak to me about this whole, so she'll eventually will want to talk, and yeah, just going out of my mind the whole time. I don't know how to cope with this. Just keep thinking of her and how she is, what she's doing, how she's coping. I'm missing her voice and miss being with her. All I want right now is a big hug from her and tell me that everything's going to be okay. I hope you get this email and get back to me as I need some guidance. As you have been through a breakup as well with someone you loved and had to let go. Thank you. Bro. You're going through it, man. And most of us have been through it. Right. Where do I start? Okay, one thing I'm going to talk about is your age. Like, you mentioned your age on there as I'm just going to say it because it makes sense to just say it. So you said you're 27. You've been with her for 8 years. So you were together when you were 21. This is going to sound quite like matter of fact, but it's a true thing. So I mean, you can look into this yourself if you want to, but your brain doesn't fully finish developing until you're 26. And I'm not sure if I've mentioned this in another podcast because I say this to everyone, but the part of your brain which is responsible for long-term decision making specifically doesn't finish developing until you're 25, 26. So when we're young, when we're in our early 20s, we actually can't make logical long-term decisions for ourselves. A lot of people who have been in relationships, not all, but a lot of people have been in relationships in their early 20s. When they get to their late 20s, things change. You grow so much as a person. Obviously, the physical aspect is your brain developing. And because of that, you start to see things a little bit differently. And one of those things is your relationships. Now, I'm not saying this is the reason for her, for this switch up in her, but one of those things is that, like, we can be so sure about someone and be so in love and so, and this applies to you as well. I know what you're going through at the moment, but you're going to get through this, and afterwards, when you look back at this moment, you'll be able to see it with some discernment. Because right now, I can tell by your email, there's so much emotion that you're going through, and you're living in an emotion that you've been in, that you can't actually look at what your relationship is objectively. One example of that is you saying that she should have sat you down and talked to you. 100% I agree with you. but she didn't. So I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit here. One is it's a very, very difficult thing for someone to do. It's very difficult to look at someone in the face, eye to eye, or in the same vicinity and say, look, I'm not interested in you and we need to break up. That's a very admirable thing for someone to do, but it's a very difficult thing as well to do. Now, she did behave cowardly. Like, what she did was very cowardly. But she still gave you something, which is she told you that it's over. Now, for you, I understand you've got so many questions. You want to ask things. You want to like figure these things out. You want to, a part of you feels like in your email, you want to fight for her, which is the complete wrong thing to do in this situation. You can't go back in time and change anything. Whatever has happened has happened. So one thing is to kind of like, I'm gonna start giving you advice now about like what you can do, because I'm gonna focus on you. One is you have to completely bring your energy back to yourself. You're worried about her. You want to get a hug from her. You want to see her. You worried. You know what she's. You need to completely cut off all energy leaving you and bring that all back to yourself. Now, when we get into relationships, especially kind of all-consuming relationships, which I think this probably was for you. Well, I mean, it definitely was for you. I can tell by your email. What we do is we lose ourselves. So there's this romantic notion of being a half of a person and someone completes you. The other half completes you. That's a beautiful, poetic sentiment, but it's not true. You are a whole human being by yourself, regardless of anyone else. And losing yourself in someone else is how you lose yourself. So you have to bring all that back to yourself. She's made a decision. She has decided to break things off with you. And she was seeing this other person for a year, and she's seen you in the meantime. You said, a couple months ago, she came and saw you for 4 days. Bro, this is not someone who's going to spend the rest of your life with you. Like, if someone wholeheartedly chose you as their person, they are not going to be entertaining anyone else. You have to have a level of respect for yourself where you have to value yourself enough to be like, okay, cool. One, there's another person in the picture that she's potentially gonna end up with, and it might be her majburi, like, from a family, they're saying to her she has to get married, they want to introduce her, all that kind of stuff. That's neither here nor there. That's justifications for whatever she's doing, because you are clearly not a priority. Otherwise, she wouldn't have behaved in that way. Other thing is, like I said, she's broken up with you. So that's a finality. You have to accept that. The number one thing you have to do is accept the reality of your current situation. Your current situation is not your month and a half ago. It's not 8 years. It's not all the things that you went through. None of that matters right now. What matters right now is you are here and she has broken up with you, and this is what we have to deal with now. So practically, these are practical things now I'm going to tell you to do. One is, I want you to get into a routine. I don't know what you do. I don't know what your job is. I don't know any of that stuff. But I want you to start getting into a routine. And that means waking up early, going to the gym, doing some sort of workout, seeing your friends, spending time with people that you love. You said you live with your mum. I want you to redirect any energy that you've got towards her, like any loving energy that you've got. I want you to redirect that to anyone in your life that you love. Your mum, your friends, if you've got siblings, whoever you've got in your life that you love, and that you value, I want you to redirect all of that love that you're pushing towards her. I want you to redirect that to everyone else in your life. You've got siblings, you've got nieces, nephews, you've got grandparents, whoever it is. I want you to spend time with them. I want you to be in front of them and value how they value you, because those people actually care about you and you care about them, and they're going to reciprocate that love and they're going to pour love into you. That's a really, really important thing. Get into a routine. You said you're not eating and all that kind of stuff. This is not good, bro. Like, you need to be out of the house. So I don't want you sitting at home feeling depressed. And the reason why I'm saying all this stuff is because I've been through this shit, bro. I know how it is. It's not good. It's not good to do that stuff. One thing that you need to do is process your feelings. So people do this in different ways. One way of processing your feelings is talking about them. Now, I have this weird thing of intellectualizing my feelings and not feeling them. Told you, like, I've been getting to know myself. But a part of it also helps me feel them. So obviously that I do that with my music. So when I express myself in my music, it's kind of like I'm talking about how I'm feeling. But obviously people that do listen to this podcast know, I'm assuming you guys know about my music. So you know how I pour myself into that stuff. It's an expression. That's like a expression, like a diary entry of how I'm feeling at that moment. So I want you to do the same. You need to express your emotions. Now, you can do that in a myriad of ways. You can write about it, you can talk about it. I don't know if you're into any type of art. You can paint, you can draw, you can, whatever it is that you do to express yourself, do that. And you have to feel your emotions. There's a great book that I always recommend. I've probably recommended it on the podcast before. It's by Michael Singer, called The Untethered Soul. It's probably, I don't know if it will help you right now. There's an audiobook on YouTube. I mean, it's definitely worth listening to at whatever stage you're at. But it just helps you. There's an exercise in there that he talks about where it's about feeling your emotions. Because all emotions just want to be felt. You don't want to ruminate on these feelings. You don't want to hold on to them. You don't want to, the sadness, whatever it is you're going through, you don't want to hold on to it. You want to feel it and let it go. So Michael Singer has a great, he's got a great technique that he talks you through. I think it's chapter 3 or 4 of that book, but listen to the whole thing or read the whole thing, and he talks about how to do that. So that's another great thing to do. And things get better. I'm telling you, this is not the end of the world. Like, everyone thinks that it's the end of the world when they get heartbroken. Bro, this is a character building process that you're going through. You are going to appreciate life so much more, because what happens is when you're in this state, and this can happen when you lose a loved one, this can happen at the breakup of a relationship, this can happen in so many different scenarios in life. But what happens is you are kind of cut open. Obviously there's that beautiful Rumi quote, the wound is where the light enters you. But it's so true, because you're cut open, there's a rawness that you're feeling right now. And it's not only the sadness, but you will feel happiness as well, and appreciation. You're like I said, if you redirect that love and all that stuff to people in your life who actually love you and reciprocate it, you will appreciate those people so much more, because you realize how they are treating you and how they love you and value you, how you wanted the other person to do that, and how that other person didn't. So you've got to look at the reality of the situation. The reality is this person who you had strong feelings for, who you loved, who you spent a lot of time with, you had a beautiful time, but you have to kind of put a full stop to that and be like, right, this person that's no longer the person that you were with. That person is now this person who has broken up with me. So she's not that person anymore. She's someone completely different. You have to reframe her position in your life. This is a woman who has broken up with you, has blocked you, does not want to talk to you. Respect her decision. Whatever she did, respect that decision that she made, and respect yourself enough to not want to be back with a person who would do that. Like, a person who would do that to you and not give you the dignity of sitting down and talking with you is not that person that you're in love with. The person that you're in love with is a memory of who this person was. So respect who she is now, respect the decision that she made. She's broken up with you. Respect that gracefully and move forward. And I guarantee you life is going to get better. Give yourself a goal in 1 year, something. It can be absolutely anything. You want to travel to this place. You want to lose a certain amount of weight. You want to save up a certain amount of money. You want to buy a car. You want to, whatever you want to, just set yourself a goal right now for 1 year's time. What you want to do. And it has to be something that you're able to quantitatively measure. And focus on that and all these other things. I hope you're able to kind of implement these things, and I promise you it does get better. You might have tough days, you might have difficult days, it might be hard, it might be, it's a process. These things take time, especially if you've been in a relationship for that long, but I promise you, bro, things do get better. Do not let this consume you. Do not let it take over your life. I know it's hard. I just want to double check anything on your email. And you know what? You're like, the way you've worded it as well. You're in a really, like, I feel like there's a level of maturity that you have, because you said, I'm not angry at her for wanting to move on. She's grown so much, and my love will always be there for her. And that is perfect. That's how it should be. Like, this is still someone that you did care about, that you did love, and that you spent so many, you have so many beautiful memories with them. But that is a memory. So respect that as the past and wish her all the best moving forward. And you need to focus on yourself. 100% focus on yourself, bro. Things will get better. I promise you. Right, guys, I think that's it. I think the podcast is back. Email in. Let's keep the conversation going. And if I did anything wrong or said anything, I do apologize. I'm a bit rusty, and if it's a lot of weird moments in this, just blame my rustiness. All right, guys, take care of each other. Be nice to each other, and I'll see you on the flip side.
Like this.